It's your girl, the real deal Lanita Skills reaction. This is crazy when I tell y'all this. This content is for entertainment, criticism, comments, teaching, education purposes. And my fair use is in my description box, which I can read off to you. I know it by heart. After, this ain't no copyright, this is from my brain. People, I'm going to give you time to get in here. There is a connection mentally with the TikToker. Wow. This is going to freak you out. There is a connection with the TikToker and what and who the killer was. I'm going to give y'all time to get in here. Y'all got to get in here. I'm going to give y'all time to get in here. This is going to freak y'all out. There is the connection with the TikToker mentally in the Idaho killer. Y'all get in here. Get in here. That's why the TikToker was thinking like she was. Because there was a connection. And a lot of people didn't understand her. Well, get in here and I'm going to tell y'all what was going on mentally. Wow. This is going to freak y'all out. I need some more people. Y'all come in here and hit the like button because I don't think like this. Something is bringing me to think the way I do. Please hit the like button. If you're watching, just hit the like button. Y'all, the only thing I do, if you're watching and you listening, hit the like button. I see somebody watching right now, I can't keep coming up with these stuff. Sleep, take a nap, wake up. Y'all just be wanting answers. I can't do that. Come in here, hit the like button like humans do. Hey, Debbie, I got something to share with y'all. No, it's not about Miss Schofield, Debbie. Wait until I tell y'all this. Not Miss Schofield. Not her, Debbie. No, listen to this, Debbie. When I connect this for y'all, now what it is, I went to sleep. I slept, and when I woke up, I read something, and I said, "Oh wow, it's a connection." Not with Miss Schofield. Y'all come here, listen. Guess what, y'all? There is a connection mentally. This the wrong lady now, not Miss Schofield. Miss her mentalness took her to a study, making them think that it was a professor, but not this person. Listen to what I'm saying. I want y'all to come in because y'all college folks like I am. Come on in here. Come on in here. I just put two and two. Her mentalness took her to this. this. Her mental friend took her to the BK, the BTK killer. Yes. It took the person, the expert who studied this was a study. It took her, it gave this lady here a mind of a person, but it wasn't Miss Schofield. It was a professional lady that deals with professional killers. But it led her to a professional person. Listen to what I'm saying. It's going to confuse you. She's, even if she said Miss Schofield, it wasn't Miss Rebecca. It wasn't Miss Rebecca. It was this person her mind led us to. The expert that dealt with the BTK killer. Don't, please, y'all, please listen to what I'm saying. Please. The accused Idaho killer was studying under the serial killer expert. No, no, no. Listen, Debbie. No, I'm saying her mind led her to the wrong. Listen, listen. Happy New Year. Her mind led her to a professional person. Her mind led her to Miss Schofield, which it wasn't Miss Schofield. Her spirit led her to a professional person, which it wasn't Miss Schofield. It was the professional person that dealt with the BTK killer. Now, God do things for a reason. Now, not her. Now, look, Nita, they seen your play for him and went arrested someone. Well, yeah, thank you, Kathy. But Kathy, she don't know that her knowledge was the wrong lady. It led her to a real serial killer expert, and it led them to the BTK killer expert. The connection. Listen to this, y'all. Listen. This person studied this crazy BTK. So what the devil led her. Okay, listen, baby. Listen what I'm saying, Debbie. I understand what you're saying. She got the wrong college. She got the wrong everything wrong. She was right through about they was gonna catch someone. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Listen for a minute, Debbie. Wrong, wrong person, which was a professional expert person, led you to the BK person. But it wasn't Miss Rebecca. It wasn't the right college. But look where her knowledge led us to. It led her to this, but she had that right. She had a professional study person who dealt with. Let me let y'all hear this. Maybe I'll let y'all.
Father traveled out to Idaho and then drove in the car with Bryan Kohberger back here to Pennsylvania in mid-December, that they were in the white Hyundai Elantra and that they drove back together here in mid-December, which is very, very interesting.
Okay, stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go back here. I'm not agreeing with Ashley on this person. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen, Debbie. It's gonna be difficult what I'm saying because it's a trick in this. She don't have a clue. She don't actually didn't have a clue that it was a real expert accused, a person that dealt with the BKT. She didn't know it. Her mind led her to a professional person. It wasn't Miss Rebecca. Her mind led her to a look. It's getting sued by an audio professor. Okay, listen. It led us, her knowledge right here led us, yeah, now you see what I'm trying to say. After he murdered the victim, he went back to his college and attended his. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen, baby, please listen to what I'm saying. Please, for a second. This woman here don't have a clue what her mind led her to a professional person. This is the wrong professional person, but it led her to a professional person that deals with killers, professional killers. So her profession, it was a professional person that did, it was a professional person right here who dealt with BTK connection. This is see, I'm gonna tell you, can I tell you this? That boy was gonna get caught due to the way that Miss Ashley was thinking. Ashley don't know her mind led her to a study. Ashley's mind led her to a killer and a study. Her mind led her to a killing study under a serial killer expert. This is the professional person that Ashley was mentally seeing, and she don't even have a clue that she saw a serial killer, an expert. And the expert is the professional person who dealt with this case right here, guys. I'm telling y'all, listen to me, please listen. She had the wrong. This is crazy. This is crazy that her mind led her to someone, professional, which wasn't Miss Rebecca. It was somebody who was a professional person deal with BKT. That's the professional person that she was seeing, thought it was Miss Rebecca, and it wasn't Miss Rebecca. So Bryan knew where she was coming from. Bryan knew where her mind was coming from. It wasn't Miss Rebecca. It led them to this professional expert right here who dealt with this. These people knew that it was him. It was a study. Listen,
entire country.
It's weird.
And now we know that they were together in the car driving back here to Pennsylvania where this whole thing ended. But back to that chilling connection. Bryan Kohberger's professor here in Pennsylvania.
Listen.
Actually wrote a book on the series.
Listen. Bryan, y'all excuse my hair. Bryan, oh God, I see the connection in her spirit. I don't deal with spirit stuff. Listen, she saw a professor. Ashley saw a professor, listen, in her dream, in her thing. But it wasn't Miss Rebecca. It was another professor. It was Bryan professor. It was Bryan professor. Then you just hear him say about her. Wow, this is crazy. It wasn't Miss Rebecca. Debbie Baker, she's trying to say that what she said actually ended up finding a murderer. So everything she was saying really was about another person. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. But she was right. She was just backwards. You get what Kathy, you get what I'm saying now. Listen, Kathy. Her mind picked a professor. Yeah, thank you, Kathy. Her mind picked a professor, but her mind picked the wrong professor. But okay, but listen, y'all, regardless if she was wrong, it was a professor that dealt with this case right here. That was Bryan professor. So her, don't nobody want to believe it. Don't nobody want to believe it. I'm telling y'all now. I get what's going on. She don't know. Ashley didn't even know. Ashley didn't even know she was on to something. She didn't even know she was on. It wasn't Miss Rebecca, but it was a professional person in this. And Bryant knew it. But everything she accused of. Okay, listen to what I'm saying. I understand you, Debbie. I understand you, baby. Listen to what I'm saying. But the professor, not her. This professor, Bryant connect with a professor. This is the professor that in the case. Bryant connected with a professor. It's weird. It's not gonna be where y'all understand what I'm saying. Kathy knows explain what I'm saying. This lady allegedly said Miss Schofield. She was wrong. But in her vision, it was a professor. See, it was a professor, but it wasn't Miss Schofield. But it was a professor. And the professor was basically an expert that dealt with BTK and with Bryant teach. Let me play this.
BTK and interviewed him extensively. They have an intimate relationship. They spoke on the phone.
Listen. Everything that, oh my God. Listen, y'all. Listen. Everything that Ashley said, excuse my hair, y'all. I got to go to work Wednesday. I've been out for vacation. Everything that Ashley said, the TikToker said, brought the killer into the picture. The reason why I said that is because she said a professor, she chose the wrong professor. The professor was Bryant professor, not Miss Schofield. You understand? Actually don't have a sense of humor. They don't realize to know that her brain brought us to a professor, but it wasn't Miss Schofield. It was Bryan professor. Her mind told us that it was a professor. She chose the wrong professor, which it was a professor involved in this killing. It was Bryan, and they had, hold up, y'all. You remember when she said that the professor was engaged in a relationship with one of her students. It wasn't Miss Schofield. See, people not going to understand what I'm saying. It wasn't Miss Schofield. Her spirit led her to a professor, but it wasn't Miss Schofield. And Bryan know what I'm thinking. Bryan know what I'm saying. It wasn't Miss Schofield. Ashley said that Miss Rebecca was in love with one of her students. It wasn't Miss Rebecca. It was Bryant involved with his professor. Listen to what they say here. So her spirit led her to the wrong person, turned Bryan in. Listen. And the police know what I'm saying. Listen to this.
In mid-December, that they were in the white Hyundai Elantra and that they were back together here in mid-December.
Thank you.
Very, very interesting because remember that basically
they don't want to hear that.
Has been looking for that white Hyundai Elantra, and now we know that they were together in the car driving back here to Pennsylvania.
Y'all got to listen to what Kathy just said, Debbie. Listen, we're not saying that this lady here was right. I just got a funny headache, y'all. I hate I'm into this. Look,
Like I have physical evidence.
she has she was wrong with Miss Rebecca. They don't want to hear that truth. Everything Ashley said, she chose the wrong professor, right? But it did end up being a professor, right, Kathy? Involved, even though it was the wrong one. Thank you, Kathy. She still had power to know it was a professor involved, but she had no clue who Bryant was. She had no clue who the professor was, y'all. It wasn't Miss Schofield, but it did lead us into a killer. And Brian knew where what her name Ashley was going to. Listen, now I'm about to play this out. Listen, please just listen, y'all. I'm not saying, listen, oh my God, I just figured this out. Listen, y'all.
Pennsylvania, where this whole thing ended. But back to that chilling connection. Bryan Kohberger's professor here in Pennsylvania, professor of criminology, actually.
Bryant Caulfield, professor. Brian Caulfield, professor. She said a professor was involved. She was wrong with Miss Rebecca, but it is a professor that involved in this killing. It was Brian professor, not Miss Rebecca. So, oh wow, this is crazy. That's why Brian turned himself in, because he knew what this lady was getting to. Brian knew what she was getting into. It wasn't Miss Rebecca. It was this killer. Listen to what he's saying.
Actually wrote a book on the serial killer BTK and interviewed him extensively. They had an intimate relationship.
He wrote a book and they had an intimate relationship. Thank you, Kathy. It said the story was the opposite. She would end up being right no matter nobody knew that they had someone in mind to make arrest. When they found out, y'all, listen what I'm saying. Thank you. Thank you. You know, the TED Talker and the police know, just like I know, she had the wrong professor. But there was a professor involved. It was Bryant professor. It wasn't Miss Schofield. It was Bryant professor. Y'all not getting it? What's going on here? Miss Rebecca, I'm not trying to give her credit or nothing, y'all. I'm not, and people who over here on this channel, no, I'm not. Listen, this girl right here, I thought she said Rebecca. It wasn't Miss Rebecca. Y'all forget. It wasn't Miss Rebecca. Brian knew it wasn't Miss Rebecca. He knew that it was a professor. Brian knew that it was a professor, like Miss Rebecca is a professor. Her mind told her it was Miss Rebecca, but it wasn't Miss Rebecca. It was a Bryant. That's why when the police found out this information that this girl right here said, he matched it with this. He had a relation. Oh my God.
They spoke on the phone, then had in-person interviews many, many times, and she actually wrote his autobiography. And now BTK's daughter is speaking to us exclusively about this very, very strange connection. She is wondering whether Kohberger perhaps had a fascination with her father. She's also talking about what families go through in situations like this when someone in the family is arrested for a brutal killing, like what happened with BTK or Kohberger. Take a listen to what she told us exclusively. most disturbing aspects of Bryan Kohberger's past is what he was studying, criminology, and who he was studying under at DeSales University in Pennsylvania. Dr. Katherine Ramsland, a serial killer expert who had a close relationship with serial killers.
There you go. Okay, I also heard that the police was what. Listen, listen. Watching about 10 days after them. This lady right here. This lady right here. See, we a lot. This is the. See, Ashley, this girl right here. So I'm gonna go through this one time. If y'all don't want to understand, I can't do this. But if you don't been to school, you should understand what I'm saying. This girl right here saw a professor. She chose the wrong professor. Ashley chose the wrong she chose, not put it like this. She chose a professor. It's no right or wrong in this right now. Let's just erase this out of our brain. She saw a professor. She saw Rebecca, which it wasn't Professor Rebecca. It was this expert right here. She went to college. It was the BTK killer, professor, expert. I'm not going to explain this.
Ramsland, a serial killer expert who had a close relationship with serial killer BTK, even writing his autobiography. What did you first think when you heard that Dr. Ramsland was teaching Bryan Kohberger?
Personally,
Listen, she just told y'all that that lady was teaching, that professor, not Miss Schofield, but a professor was teaching the BT who taught her killer father. It's the same lady who taught Bryan. That is a professor that Ashley was mentally seeing in her brain. Not saying Ashley is right at all. I'm not agreeing with Ashley. But she did see a professor. And the expert professor was her dad killer. Killer. The expert, the one found her dad as a killer. This lady right here. Wow, this is crazy. I ain't gonna be able to explain it. Okay, and the people in the classroom said it was. See, Debbie, why are you telling us this? I'm just trying to tell you. Why are as people we not understanding what's going on? You are telling me about the case. I'm not getting to that. It's. I'm getting to Ashley. When
first reaction was like my stomach churned, and I literally physically got ill, knowing that there was now a connection back to Ramsland, and she connects to my father. It was just a lot.
Carrie Rawson is serial killer Dennis Rader, aka BTK's daughter. BTK stands for Bind, Torture, Kill. And Rader is
this is a killer. Y'all see right here. Thank you, Kathy. This is a killer. The professor at Bryan College helped caught this killer. That's who Ashley was seeing, but she had the wrong professor in her mind. I don't deal with this kind of stuff, but in her brain, Ashley saw a professor. But it wasn't Miss Schofield, and the police know that Ashley was right. The police knew that she was right. I'm just going to tell y'all that.
Do you think he may have had any sort of communication with your father?
Kohberger could definitely have had communication with my father. Well, obviously, we know he studied my father.
Hold up. Let me take that back. Listen to what she said. Listen to what she said. Listen to who name she just said. She said Schofield. Listen to what the girl just said. Y'all heard it with your own ears. Listen to it. Thank you, Captain, for being here.
Any sort of communication with your father?
Kohberger could definitely have had communication with my father. Well, obviously, we studied my father in criminology classes. He probably studied even heavier since he had Ramsland as a professor. But we need to find out if there's a deeper connection. It concerns me.
A deeper connection, like if Kohberger was corresponding with BTK.
Listen, y'all. These are your two criminal mind men. These are your two criminals. He's a criminal, and he's a criminal. This girl right here, I'm not trying to get her credit. I'm not doing it. She saw a criminal in this. But her criminal was the wrong person. Her mind led her to this professor. But it wasn't that professor. It was the professor that dealt with these two, that did his case, study him to study him. Got to give people credit, y'all.
In prison, he would have had access because of his professor, Dr. Ramsland, who's appeared in more than 200 crime documentaries and was even on news.
There she go. There go the professor. There your professor that Ashley was talking about. The police know that, the psychologists know that, and I know that now. This who Ashley was speaking of. I'm trying to break it down for y'all. This who this girl right here was speaking of. When she said Miss Schofield, it was the wrong professor. But it was a professor. But it happens to be the BKT and Bryan professor, this woman. It was a woman like Ashley saw. It was a professor like Ashley saw, but it wasn't Miss Schofield. It was this person, y'all. It was this person.
Nation in October discussing the Delphi case.
Help explain to me the mindset of a killer living in a community where they have carried out allegedly this heinous act.
Well, if it is the person, the suspect that they have under arrest right now, he was married, so he would have had to have secrets.
Dr. Ramsland is known for her TV.
Stop. Did you hear what this lady just said? He was married and he had secrets. Ashley said that Miss Schofield had secret and was married. She spoke on her husband. It wasn't Miss Schofield the whole time who Ashley saw. And what brought this case to a close was Ashley. We are not going to admit that. Ashley brought this to a close. Ashley saw the professor, but not Miss Schofield. Ashley saw a professor, it wasn't Miss Schofield. Ashley saw the killer, but it wasn't no Miss Schofield. Ashley saw a relationship in Miss Schofield's hood, but it wasn't Miss Schofield and her husband. It was this nut right here, the Idaho killer. I'm telling y'all, listen to what's going on. Y'all got to pay attention.
But she's not talking now. When I asked her about Kohberger, she responded, "I cannot make media statements."
Thank you. This lady right here is who Ashley was talking about. Not Miss Schofield, but Miss Schofield led us to this lady. The police is not, hey. The police led us to this lady. Miss Ashley led us to this lady. Ashley led us to this woman. I ain't taking up for Ashley. I don't agree with spirit and stuff like this. That's why she stayed on Miss Schofield, and the police knew it wasn't Miss Schofield. It was this person right here. Now I ain't gonna explain this no more. I'm done after this.
At this time, but Carrie Robson, the nightmare in Idaho, has
See
now
that
come
closer
full
to
circle.
Once I figure out how to stop it,
I can't hear.
like, it's hard to be the kid of this guy and live with this, and then see somebody else.
You know what? Kathy? A lot of them do. That's why I was saying, give me credit. Say the real deal. You probably son. Ooh, in the name. Don't ignore them. Ignore them. You better not do them like that. Move. Stop. Don't do them like that. Yes. Yes, Kathy. A lot of them see my. You can close the door today. I still feel somebody seeing your channel. A lot of folks see my channel, don't give me credit. Ashley. Not Ashley, I call you Ashley. Ashley talk about me. Camper, minute. Stop. Stop. Sit down, Camper. You know what? You know what? Everybody do, Kathy. Everybody do. I don't get no credit. I'm just like Ashley. I ain't gonna get it. I ain't gonna get it. But I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna get this girl right here some kind of credit. That's why the police feel good. What she said, Lynette, you did. You told me that folks were doing that. They sit and watch me and don't give me credit. And you ain't the only one told me that, and I appreciate that. This lady, they don't understand what I'm saying. I'm not taking up for Ashley. It's scaring me now because Ashley spoke. She said, I have physical proof that it is Miss Schofield. It wasn't Miss Schofield. And the police knew this. They need to go on to get this girl her death. Even when Shaquetta case, everybody thought that was Dejanae. Now everybody saying it wasn't. You the only one that kept saying it wasn't. That thank you. And I don't like that. I don't want them to say it because I'm saying that. I'm saying what I see. I'm not making up nothing. But she kept saying that she got physical evidence that it was Miss Rebecca. It wasn't Miss Rebecca. Stop, Campbell. It wasn't Miss Rebecca. It was this serial killer up here, this professor right here. Listen, and this case coming. That's why she ain't gonna get sued.
Like, was he studying my father outside of academics? I mean, am I ever going to get an assist with that? I don't know.
Stop, Campbell.
For watching, go to newsnationnow.com.
But I tell you, Kathy. Kathy. I just caught a headache, and I ain't gonna catch another one. That's your killer. That's the professor who this girl, get a girl her death. If you're gonna do anything, get a girl her death. Get Ashley her death. Get Ashley her death. She had the wrong people, but the right mind. There go your professor. There your professor who she was talking about. She had, the devil led her to Miss Schofield. Stop it. The devil led her to Miss Schofield, which it wasn't Miss Schofield. The devil led, ooh, wait, that's what I got here. Stop, Campus. See, the devil led her to Miss Schofield. And it was Miss Schofield. It was this professor right here. Ain't nobody don't nobody want to see that, Kathy. Nobody's not gonna want to see that, believe that. Dog, the whole time, this professor dealt with this man right here. Wow, 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 wow. She felt with them. Asking the right mind, but the wrong person. And that's when the police brought him in. When Ashley started talking about this, when they brought him in. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I ain't taking up for Ashley. I'm most definitely not taking up for it. But where her mind, they ain't gonna sue that girl. That girl ain't gonna get sued. She turned child killer in. She turned child killer in. Ashley turned the killer in. But she ain't gonna get no credit. She brought child killer in. Ashley did. Look at that. There go y'all professor. It wasn't Miss Schofield. It was this lady right here. Y'all got to get the girl credit where it due. It wasn't Miss Schofield. But it was this professor right here. I think they're going to let Ashley go with this case. They might let Ashley go. Ashley will really, that girl right there really showed us a whole lot. The devil led her to a professor, and it wasn't Miss Schofield. It was this right here, y'all. It was this professor the whole time who dealt with loving killers. She fell in love with her killers. It was her, not Miss Schofield. And when the police found out uh what her name Ashley said, she won. Got to get the folk dealt where they get it. Ain't that right, Kathy? Get the people dealt where they got it. Don't sit and watch me and then go take my stuff to another channel. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know. But I'm going to tell y'all now. Ashley Mine saw a professor, and it wasn't Miss Schofield, it was this lady. The police know, expert know, and everybody. This lady right here. I'm going to play this all the way through so y'all can hear what this man said, and I'm going to be done with it. I'm going to be done with it. So everything that this young lady right here said, she wrote a case with the wrong name, but a professional person, an expert. It wasn't Miss Rebecca, but it was this lady.
People keep asking, where did Rebecca Schofield come from? Like, how did I get her name? No, I do not just get random names. I typically don't get random names in my readings. The spirit said there was a teacher involved in the murders when I was doing the
Look, you heard what she said. I'm going to play it out. I'm going to play it all the way.
reading. And by spirit, I mean my inner spirit. My inner spirit spirit that's not bound by the body. Therefore, even though my body was not there, my spirit can tap into information that my body could not have. So the reading I did alluded to a teacher. And it was ironic to me because it was the same card that was used when I was doing the reading on Tiffany Valiante commenter. A teacher commented, was talking crazy, and I was like, who?
Listen here. This is the teacher who she's talking about, but she thought it was Miss Schofield, but the devil led her to this teacher. The devil led her to Miss Schofield, but it was this lady who dealt with this here. It was this professor, y'all. Listen to what she just said. Listen to what she said. Listen. She don't have no control of her, the stuff that she did. I don't deal with it, but listen.
People keep asking, where did Rebecca Schofield come from? Like, how did I get her name? No, I do not just get random names. I typically don't get random names in my readings. The spirit said there was a teacher involved.
That spirit said a teacher was involved. There your teacher go right there. It wasn't Miss Schofield, it was you. That's why Bryan turned himself in. That's why the police should just leave Ashley alone. I really don't think Ashley gonna get sued. Even though the process is gone, I don't think they're gonna let it. I think that they're gonna let it go. Because she was right. It was a professor. I don't believe in this stuff, y'all, but listen.
And the murders when I was doing the reading. And by spirit, I mean Mayan spirit. Mayan spirit that's not bound by the body. Therefore, even though my body was not there, my spirit can tap into information that my body could not have. So the reading I did alluded to a teacher. And it was ironic to me because it was the same card that was used when I was doing the reading on Tiffany Valiante commenter. A teacher commented, was talking crazy.
There your teacher go. There y'all teacher go. There y'all teacher.
And was even on News Nation in October discussing the Delphi case. He was studying criminology, his autobiography. And now BTK's daughter is speaking to us exclusively about this very, very strange connection. She is wondering whether Kohberger perhaps had a fascination with her father. She's also talking about what families go through in situations like this when someone in the family is arrested for a brutal killing, like what happened with BTK or Kohberger. Take a listen to what she told us exclusively. One of the most disturbing aspects of Bryan Kohberger's past is what he was studying, criminology, and who he was studying under at DeSales University in Pennsylvania. Dr. Katherine Ramsland, a serial killer expert who had a close relationship with serial killer BTK, even writing his autobiography. What did you first think when you heard that Dr. Ramsland was teaching Bryan Kohberger?
Personally, my first reaction was just like my stomach
There
churned.
y'all go. There y'all go. There y'all go. There y'all go, Miss Ashley. They need to let you go. I don't need to sue you. Ashley solved the case. I don't know Ashley. I don't nothing. Get a girl credit, y'all. Please do. Get a girl credit. Get Ashley credit. She had the mind had the wrong source of baby. The wrong person. Y'all, I'm about to go. Cause my mind just freaked out. Oh Lord. Ashley told y'all it was a professor. Soon Ashley told y'all it was a professor that was in love with her student. It wasn't her, it was the professor right here, the expert.
University in Pennsylvania. Dr. Katherine Ramsland, a serial killer expert who had a close relationship with serial killer BTK, even writing his autobiography. What did you first think when you heard that Dr. Ramsland was teaching Bryan Kohberger?
Personally, my first reaction was just like my stomach churned and
Her stomach turned. Well, Ashley, I got to say one thing. You knew your man know that it was a professor and you was right. But it wasn't Miss Schofield though. But it was a professor. Y'all, we gotta get a lady credit when you do now. We got to get a lady credit. She had the wrong people, but the right man. This is crazy. Thank you, Kathy. I had to put my girl in timeout. Thank you, Kathy. I had to put homegirl in timeout. I don't even have, I'm not even the one to put people in timeout. But when you don't listen, I'm not worried about the case because they telling you what happened. They got to kill him. And what Ashley was saying, the TikToker was saying, the wrong people. And then when the police start listening to her.
And I was like, who is this person and why is she coming? And it deleted. That same part came out, so I'm like, let me clarify this. So then when I clarified it, history came out, and the cards just kept saying history, 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 history. So I looked up the University of Idaho History Department, and Rebecca Schofield was on there. She's the first on the page. So I did readings on each one of
This
them.
led them to this right here. What she's saying led them to this person right here. When they led, they get, if the lady got brought y'all, led y'all to the right people, get a good grip.
I literally physically got ill, knowing that there was now a connection back to Ramsland and she connects to my father. It was just a lot.
Carrie Rossin is serial killer Dennis Rader, aka BTK's daughter. BTK stands for Bind, Torture, Kill, and Rader is responsible for killing 10 people. Do you think he may have had sort of communication with your father?
Kohberger could definitely have had communication with my father. Well, obviously, we know we studied my father in criminology classes. He probably...
Golly! They studied this man in a criminology course? Wow, this is crazy.
Studied even heavier since he had Ramsland as a professor. But
this is y'all professor who was in love with her student. Who I ain't trying to take up for this girl right here, but this is the professor that was in love with a student. Not Miss Cofield, y'all. We know that. But her mind led her to the real stuff. Right here. Her mind led us to Bryan and her dad. And the lady who was in love with her dad, the BTK killer, she was a professor that taught the criminology course that Bryan was in. Wow.
Out if there's a deeper connection, it concerns me.
I want to hear
A
that.
connection, like if Kohberger was corresponding with BTK.
You know what, Kathy? Nobody don't want to hear that. Nobody want that truth out right now. Nobody want this truth out. There go y'all two killers. He studied him. His professor study you and you. The professor is who Miss Ashley was talking about, not Miss Schofield. This your girl, the real deal, and Nikki Kill. I'm out.